Good morning. So as promised, here is video 1 of our farm truck series with our truck, Barney. So what I think I'll do is just take you for a quick walk around on Barney. I've already got a name for him. Well, there's a reason for that we'll get into in a minute, but this is a 2008 Chevy Silverado. This is a half ton. We've got the LY5 5.3 liter V8 under the hood, 4L60 transmission. Of course, a cab and a half. 4-wheel drive. We're at about 210,000 miles on it. Yeah, and this is gonna be our farm truck. I can barely squeeze this thing in the shop. So let's just continue our little walk around. Extended cab. This is an LT trim with leather seats, so we've got actually room for 6 people in this, which I really like, versus having the center console. Some people like center console better. I'd rather have that seat. There's our LY5, 5.3 V8. We've got 209,000 miles on it. And it still even has the green high service belt that I put on it before we sold it. That's awesome. So let's talk about the background of this thing for a minute. Back in 2017, I had a 2006 Toyota Tacoma. And it was a bad fit for me. I despised it, it despised me. So my brother was very excited with Toyotas, and he proposed we just trade. So we did. And that's how I originally took ownership of this truck. I traded my brother for it in 2017. Owned it, drove it till 2022. And the reason we call it Barney is it's this purple color. Barney the purple dinosaur. Yeah, it's kind of become its persona. Everybody knows this truck as Barney. So my oldest son calls all pickup trucks Barney now. So having to train him off that one. So in 2022, we had twins in 2021. But I knew that truck was our closest thing to a family hauler, which really wasn't working. Trying to get 3 kids into that when they're all basically infants and go to doctor's appointments and stuff. It's kind of a big vehicle to be taken to doctor's offices and stuff. So we needed something a little bit more family hauler friendly. And that's when we picked up the Durango. This is a 2011 Citadel. It's got the 5.7 Hemi. It was basically to replace Barney with. We had a V8 to pull stuff, smaller overall body style, so it was easier to get in and out of appointments. It's been great. We love this thing. We just couldn't afford to keep the truck at the same time, so we knew buying into this we were going to have to get rid of the truck. So in 2022 we put the old truck up for sale, and luckily for us, once I started talking about selling it at work, coworker, her daughter ended up buying this truck. And guys, she took so good care of this truck. It drives as good, if not better, than when I sold it to her. She kept track of all of her bills. She's got a pamphlet of bills, it's got to be over an inch thick. She took darn good care of it. I couldn't ask for better to take care of a vehicle, which I liked so much. So yeah, back in January, she was looking to move on because it is a big vehicle. It's the same reason why we kind of moved away from it. She was moving away from it, and it's, you know, she's driving to work and stuff, and it's kind of a large vehicle to park, and, you know, she was just looking for something smaller. So she found that, and they had offered to trade in on it, but the trade-in number was disappointingly low to me. I still feel really bad about it. But when I heard how low that was offered, I offered to buy it back from her. So I was super ecstatic to get this vehicle back because, to be honest, only a few months after we sold it, I had started looking for a different truck, because there's all sorts of little things around the house that just, you know, a trailer does really well, but a truck just does better. Like just stopping and grabbing fence posts and fencing, feed, actually returning motor oil. I do a lot of our own oil changes here, and I found myself, in fact, I'll go show you this real quick. I have got jugs and jugs and jugs of motor oil I have to return. because literally I have not returned motor oil since we sold the truck. So first thing this spring, I think I'm gonna have a whole truckload of motor oil to take back. But stuff like motor oil is just something that doesn't seem to go well on a trailer. Our trailer bounces around a lot, and just like trying to get that to our local transfer station, it doesn't work out too well. And then having it in the back of the Durango doesn't work out too well either. So it was just one of those areas where a truck bed, just, you gotta have it almost. So I've been looking at 3/4 and 1 ton trucks, bigger trucks than this. Mainly because trucks like this were way outside of my price range. I mean, I absolutely love this machine, but I didn't think I'd ever be able to buy it back. So, I mean, the fact that it's here in the barn is kind of amazing to me. So, yeah, I have a lot of memories with this truck. I mean, in a past video, I had said that, you know, this was the truck where I, you know, found out I was going to be a father in the driver's seat over there. You know, my wife and I took this on our honeymoon. The highest point in the state of Michigan, natural point, Mount Arvon. It's been, you know, to the furthest westerly point in the UP. It's been over, and it's just been such a reliable companion for us that it was really sad for it to go, which, you know, is one of the reasons why it was so exciting to get a chance to get it back. And, you know, nobody wanted, lack of a better terms, this thing was going to be scrapped. It was going to be scrap metal. And the young lady that bought it didn't want to see it as scrap metal. And obviously I didn't want to see it as scrap metal. So the fact that we're able to, you know, keep it going and keep it driving is going to be, you know, it's the right thing to do in my head. So this is, I would stay in good shape for a 2008 GMT 900 chassis. These things tend to rust away, and you do see there's a dent and some rust forming, but I've seen way worse. You know, we still got a lot of clear coat on this thing. It's still, in my opinion, it's still a really good looking truck. So my plans for it are as follows. I would like to find some factory takeoffs on these. That's an easy way to get a rim and a tire, is you find people that are upgrading, you know, their vehicle to different rim, wheels, and tires. This happens a lot where people just want an aftermarket wheel to put on their machine. And yeah, sometimes you can find those on Marketplace for, you know, $500-600 with decent tires on it and, you know, new wheels, because these guys, my brother had put these on there. This originally had, I believe, 16-inch wheels, and I want to say these are like 18s or 20s. I'd be fine going back to 16s. I like the way 16s ride better. But we'll keep our eyes open for whatever we can find in wheels and tires. These are good. They're actually probably better than any other tires we've got around the house right now. So not a big deal, but if we can find a set, I will keep my eyes open. Before we bought the Durango, when we realized this was going, I took the tow mirrors off this. They were actually my dad's tow mirrors, and you know, we passed them down the line. My older brother Dusty, he had a Silverado of the same vintage, so we passed those along to him. I'm gonna try finding another set of those tow mirrors. I really like how they go down the road with the tow mirrors, well, especially if you're towing. Imagine that. But I'd like to find a new set of tow mirrors for this thing. We're gonna take the bed off, and I might try pushing this dent out, but honestly, I may also not. This is gonna be, it's gonna get worked. So as you can see over there in the corner, that hitch has failed. So one of the things we're gonna do is order a new hitch. That's part of the reason why we're gonna take the bed off of it. That's just gonna make installing a new hitch so much easier. And we'll get this thing a nice beefy hitch to replace that with, so if we hook onto a trailer, we know we got a good hold on it. So the other thing we're gonna check is the frame. I've got my suspicions, which is one of the reasons why the trade-in value on this thing was just given a low estimate. They do make repair kits for this, so if we find anything, which I have a feeling we'll find something, we'll just repair it, because yeah, this thing is totally worth repairing. And you know, they make patch kits, and we'll just, it's a farm truck. We're not going to be hauling trailers over the, you know, Continental Divide. This thing isn't going to be pulling any fifth wheels or anything like that. As far as the rear bumper goes, these are kind of cheaply made. I'm kind of torn on whether to get like a farmhand style bumper for the back of this, or just, you know what, just leave it as it is, because if you bump into something, it's not that big of a deal. So I'm about 50-50 on that one. I may take that off and do farmhand, or we may just leave it as is. So another thing we're going to do, I'm not sure, again, with the front, whether I'm going to look for a farmhand style bumper for this, or whether we just get, you know, one of the rough country hidden winch kits. But I've got a 10,000 pound Warn winch. We're going to put it on the front of this. It's so useful, not just for like, we're not going to just be going off-roading with it, but you know, winches are like so useful for like pulling logs, and you know, it's kind of an extra, you know, how would I put this, a force multiplier for, you know, this truck. So definitely going to be moving that 10,000 pound winch from my Jeep over to this. So we'll see how we want to mount that. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull the transmission fluid and filter again. I think I did that last at 150,000. I did not see that in any of the receipts. So it's due for transmission filter and fluid. This 4L60E is still shifts fine with 210,000 miles. So it's been taken care of its whole life, and we're going to keep that going, keep taking care of it. Anyhow, this is pretty much what I got planned for today's video. We just took a little bit of a walk around, and I explained some things about this truck. This is Barney, and we'll be starting the farm truck series on this truck. This will be video number 1, so follow us along. We'll be doing more videos as we tear into this thing. I've got some service things in mind, and I've got some, you know, farm modifications in mind. So stay tuned for more. Have a great day. So this may sound silly to you, but when I first got this truck, the first time driving it to work, I felt like I'd made it. I drove mid-sized trucks my whole life, and there's no problem with mid-sized trucks. They're great. They have their place. But my first time driving this full-size Silverado down the road, I felt like I made it. I felt like an adult. And there's just something about that feeling that just kind of wells up back inside me again as I'm driving it right now. It's like all those emotions are coming back. I absolutely love this machine.